Assalamualaikum. Very good afternoon to everyone. Thank you to our MC. Thank you to our distinguished panelists, Dr. Zaharuddin, Managing Director Elza Shariah Solutions Sdn Bhd, and Mr. Rushdan bin Muhammad Nazir, Head of Shariah Services CGS CIMB Security Sdn Bhd. So our session will be we have a three section. The first section will be introduction from our panelists, what they are doing right now, their firms and their service solution. And our second session will be Q&A from audience. And the ending session will be the conclusions from all the panelists. I would like to start first from our first panelist, Dr. Zaharuddin. I mean, maybe you can share more about yourself, about your firm as well. Over to you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi, and a very good afternoon to all of the attendees today. Thank you very much to the chairperson, moderator, and also our colleague, PS panel, Brother Roshdan. First of all, thank you very much to the organizer for inviting me to share some of the information and experience that I gathered through I think more than 20 years or maybe more than 25 years of investment, and also in providing consultation for Sharia advisory. So as for a bit of background of my company, Assessing Shariah Solutions Sdn Bhd have been actively engaging in various agencies, government agencies, corporate companies, and also not only locally but also abroad in providing solutions such as what you call as legal documentation, and also structuring the investment instrument. For example, we had helped several companies to structure their investment instrument for fundraising using istisna and wakalah, and also using murabahah and wakalah. And apart from that, we also help our customer to structure their redeemable preference shares, and also sukuk. Not only that, we also help our customer in order to come out with the structure in terms of, not only structure but also legal documentation for the structure that we help. Not only that, we also have developed few technological solution. For example, we develop investment relationship manager solution, where, for example, when we invest as an angel investors, or maybe in RPS, redeemable preference shares, rarely we can get the update from the company, right? For example, I myself invested in several redeemable preference shares, but I rarely get the information and the update of the businesses. Yes, we can get a lot of insight of the company and their potential and their development and progress prior to the investment. But after we invest, normally their service after investment is quite poor. For that reason, we help to develop this technological solution to help the investor to get right information, not only prior to the investment, but also post-investment. And we also develop what we call as Sharia Screener for those who love to invest in the global market, especially NASDAQ and New York Stock Exchange, and doesn't know what is the status of this company and that company, for example, NVIDIA, Tesla, TSM and whatnot, you can just simply go to our platform, and you will have information on nine benchmark that being used globally. 9 Shariah benchmark will be at your disposal. And not only that, we also provide the fundamental and technical analysis at your disposal at that shariahscreener.com. So as for our company, not only we are only focused on the Shariah matters, we also help the business to grow. We have several business coaching to help our client in expanding their business and fundraise, because some of them, they don't know about the corporate side of managing the business. They don't know about the taxation. They don't know about the incorporation of the company. We also help them and in line with the Shariah compliant manner. So I think that's a little bit about our company. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you to Dr. Zaharuddin. It's a very informative information about his firm, his background, and I would like to share with you guys. Basically, actually, Dr. Zaharuddin is very famous. He's an icon, prominent icon in Malaysia when we talk about Shariah investment, Shariah solution, Shariah advisory. He's a very famous in Malaysia actually. And he mentioned about the sukuk. Most of us do not realize that in Malaysia, from Malaysia actually is the biggest sukuk issuance, Islamic bonds in the world. So this thing that I think we need to understand more after this, with my question after this. Now I would like to invite Mr. Rusdan to share introduction about yourself, your role in this industry on the Sharia. Over to you.
Okay, terima kasih Fendi. Assalamualaikum. Good afternoon. So thanks first to the organizer, share investor, all the participants, especially guys that are here with us today. It's a very challenging spot that you actually give us, 3 p.m. on a Sunday, right? So, and the topic is also quite heavy. So we'll try to make it as informative and as fun as possible. Okay, so I think I actually have some slide. Okay, I mengelak sikit lah. Okay, so basically I prepared just a short presentation here just to introduce who we are, in case you know, you all don't know. CGS CIMB, we are, by the way, on there, booth number 3. CGS CIMB is actually a joint venture between CGS and CIMB. So I don't know, anybody here know what the acronym stands for, CGS? Anybody know? No? CIMB, you guys know lah, right? China, India, Melayu Bank, right? Betul? So CIMB is Commerce International Merchant Bankers. CGS stands for China Galaxy Securities. So China Galaxy Securities is the top 3 brokers in China, owned by CIC, the equivalent to our Khazanah. Okay, so it's a very big, I would say, brokerage in China. They have 500 plus branches, 36 subsidiaries, and also I think in terms of the clients, they have about 13, close to 14 million customers. But everything from China is big lah, right? So that's CGS CIMB. We have a global presence. We like to call ourselves a global company, a global presence, but also we have a very, very strong local roots. It started as CIMB Securities way back then. Then back in 2018, CGS bought over 50% stake in the company. So then the name changed to CGS CIMB. So we are operating from 20 countries. In Malaysia, we have 30 branches and about 900 strong staff. And we are very proud to say that we are currently the top broker in Malaysia, but also top broker in Singapore, ASEAN, and also the top 3 in China. All right, so I think that's all in terms of the introduction. I will touch on the Sharia services later. Yeah, Afendi? All right.
Thank you to Mr. Rusdan. Yeah, we can see very powerful, the footprints of CMB more in the 20 countries, like informed by our panelists. Okay, now we are going to discuss deeper on our topic, the best practices for assessing Sharia compliance in investment. I would like to start with Dr. Zaharuddin first. Dr. Zaharuddin, in order to create the investment portfolio, a Sharia investment portfolio, so what actually the principles, the basic principles that we need to understand in order to create the portfolio? Please explain with a layman term on the Islamic principle as well.
Thank you. I do understand that most of us in this hall are here to actually finding ways on how to make more money out of your current money, right? Or in other words, to fight the inflation rate. So if the inflation rate for that particular year is 3%, so you have to get more than 3% so that your money will not lose its value. So as for myself, I just want to share some of my experience in creating my own portfolio of investment. Number one, I invest in gold, the physical gold itself. I bought it a few years ago with the price of 170 ringgit per gram. You know, now, what is the price? So alhamdulillah, it's good for me. And I also invest in virtual gold that is backed by real gold via a company called Meme Gold. I still remember 5 months or 6 months ago, I invest 5 grams. But now because of their downline system and agency system, my gold has increased to 14 grams within less than 1 year. So I think that's good. That is one of my portfolio, gold. Number 3, I also invest in crypto. You know, I bought this crypto. I don't want to share with you the name of the crypto. But I still in the money, you know, thanks God. I used to get 100% of profit, but already decreased, but still in the money. That's good. And then number 3, I also invest in property. In property, yes, property is good, but not so good for several reasons. If you cannot gain a rate, for example, you did not manage to get a good tenant, so it will not be a good investment for you. And also, I also invest in companies, equity investment. Equity investment means you are acting as angel investors in companies. I invested in solar and renewable energy companies. In 2 years, they gave me 10% of dividend from actual profit, you know. And also, I also invest 4 years ago in dental clinic, and it's chains of clinic, and it already gave me 5 times of my capital investment. So it's good. Health sector is very good for you to invest in. And not only that, I also invest in equity market via the stock market, global market. I invest in Tesla in year 2018. Can you guess what is the price of Tesla at that time and today? You know, I used to get 2,000% of profits from Tesla. Thank you, Elon Musk. All right. And also 5 months ago, I bought NVIDIA because NVIDIA stock going down, and when we look at the fundamental and technical analysis of NVIDIA, I use my own system, Sharia Screener. I bought NVIDIA, and now it already 104% in 5 months. So Alhamdulillah. And at the same time, I also bought Apple. You know, if you are following the global market, especially US, they are downtrending, right? Last few months, that is a very good time for you to purchase. Alhamdulillah, I purchased Apple, I purchased Nvidia, and also I purchased the other companies, the energy companies. All are in green in the money. So for me, the key principle of investment is number one, to have knowledge in what you want to invest. For example, if our moderator here, he is someone who has expertise in crypto. Don't ever think about invest in crypto if you don't know you don't know what is hard wallet, cold wallet, you don't know about the DAX, digital exchange, that being approved by the Securities Commission of Malaysia. By the way, I am one of the Sharia advisory member of Securities Commission of Malaysia. So we have discussed it. You can invest in Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Uniswap, they have some more, you know, the new one. But you need to use the licensed and registered DAX, digital exchange. Because if it happens that the e-wallet being tampered or being hacked, you will always be guaranteed to have your money back. But if you go to other exchanges, let it be the big one, for example Binance, you will not be guaranteed, and the legal, or maybe the law in Malaysia will not recognize that money in the e-wallet of that Binance as a money. So that's why Securities Commission of Malaysia approved several licenses to help protect your fund and investment, you know. And also, for example, if you want to invest in IPO, just like the crowd over there, they are discussing about IPO, beware. Not all IPO is successful. You know, past 3 IPOs see the first day of destruction. You know, 20% of, you know, loss for the first day, because you have to understand the sector and the sentiment, not only the fundamental of the company, but also the sector, the sentiment. Maybe the fundamental of the company is very good, but when there is no sentiment, there is no catalyst, you will fail. Maybe not fail, maybe temporarily fail, because someday the shares will go up. We don't know, you know. So the same like the stock market. The stock market, I have lost few 100,000 in Malaysia stock market. I have made several 100,000 or more in the US stock market. And I also Sharia advisor of EPF, the biggest fund manager in Malaysia with almost 1 trillion ringgit Malaysia asset under management. They have strategic asset allocation. In order for us to understand how we have to manage our portfolio, we can just mimic the EPF strategic asset allocation. Number one, put at a fixed deposit, Sharia compliant fixed deposit. Number two, private equity market. Go and find good company for you to invest as angel investors. Number three, also invest in property market, just like EPF. Number four, go to equity, global and local. And from this global and local, EPF managed to get that good profit. Even though they lost huge amount of money, but in cumulative, they still make more money. You know? That is number one, information and understanding. Number two, in order to bring to create your portfolio, understand what is the amount of money that you are willing to risk. Because investment is all about risking your money, for higher returns in the future. So either or, it's always like that. There is no guarantee that you will always get profit. For example, Top Glove, during the COVID, they got, 4 billion net profit in a quarter earnings, 4 months of business, they managed to get what? They managed 3 months of business. They managed to get 4 billion of net profit. But what happened then? What happened after that? They lose 100 millions. It's normal. It's not that Top Glove is not good. They are good fundamentally, but that is the nature of the business. Sharia, be it Sharia compliant or non-Sharia compliant, you will always expose to loss and risk, loss and profit. So that is number 2. Number 3, the key principle is to understand the business activities of the company. And the business activities of the company requires you to read a lot about the sector that they are in. Whether they are in the renewable energy, petrol, gas, healthcare, and whatnot. I can assure you the healthcare will be a good investment. But maybe the sector is good, but when the management is bad, you will always be exposed to risk. In order to do that, you have to look at the team and their expertise and their track record. So for me, for Sharia investment and investing, you have to understand also the sectors that you want to be in. And lastly, before I hand over to the moderator, it is if you want to invest via the instrument of investment, be it RPS, Sukuk, retail Sukuk, or maybe unit trust, or maybe this and that, you have to look at if there are any Sharia advisors advising them. If there are Sharia advisors, that will be your layers of defense to check whether or not the company is legit, because there are many out there being trapped by the scammers. Nowadays, scammers are very, very dynamic. They are using my face. They are using the CGSCIMB logo. They even use Securities Commission logo on the Facebook, and then they say, you invest in this 100,000, you will get monthly profit, or every three hours you will get profit. So this is too good to be true and crazy, But people tend to, tend to believe, and they are being trapped. So I think that's all that I can share for the first question. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Zaharuddin. Very precise and concrete on explanations on the principles of Islamic Sharia finance, Sharia investment. And Dr. Zaharuddin also mentioned about how the ways, the portfolios that he chose. 1, gold; first, stock market; second, properties; and third is crypto, and fourth is crypto. And now my questions to Mr. Rushdan. So on this kind of portfolios, so what is the measurement to ensure that this kind of portfolios are Sharia compliance, and what are the challenges in order to ensure that these kind of portfolios will be suited with the Sharia compliance? Yeah.
Okay, terima kasih, Effendi. So I think maybe we want to go back and actually understand what is Sharia compliant investment. I think investment, based on what Dr. Zahar explained to us, it's no different from how we see investing from the Sharia or from a conventional perspective. You need to do your study, you need to know the companies before you invest in. So basically, when it comes to products, investment products, all products are actually agnostic. It doesn't cater for certain religion or whatever. So investment products, everybody can look at investment product, but of course, if you follow the Sharia principle, then you want to invest in Sharia compliant products. Basically, Sharia compliant products are products, well, you can invest in all kind of products as long as it doesn't fall under the 4 categories. Betul tak, Dr. Zah, ya? The riba, maisir, garar, and the prohibitive items lah. The rest actually, you can invest in all the products or whatever structures you want in. And also, when it comes to challenges, I think first and foremost, we are very, very lucky to be in Malaysia, where the ecosystem and the regulation is watertight. I mean, we have Securities Commission, we have Bank Negara, to provide that, protection for all of us investors. And of course, the challenges is, again, the scammers, that try to provide, these wonderful returns, but it's not true lah. I mean, nothing's easy. Excuse me. Nothing is easy, right? In the investment, if you don't do your homework, then nobody can provide you such return. But what we have in Malaysia is the regulation, and just make sure that whatever you want to do, whatever instruments that you decide to invest in, please, invest with licensed, a company or organization. And they are all here. I think everyone's here. All the booth, they are all providing various kind of service, both conventional and Sharia compliance, and they are all licensed by the regulators in Malaysia. So boleh invest tanpa was-was. And even for crypto, also in this field, also there's also already regulation in it. But again, look at Sharia compliant investment as any kind of investment. The only difference is that we actually follow the Sharia principle, which prohibits, certain items. I mean, for example, outrightly, we cannot invest in, say, gaming, alcohol, what else? Tobacco. So those are the obvious, entertainment, but the rest. But also we also look at the financial of the companies. The financial ratio is also very important. Sharia investment maybe provide you another layer, which is actually we prohibit investors to invest in companies that is over leveraged, that have a very, very high debt, very, very high gearing ratio. So that's also another added protection to investors. Thank you.
It's very clear and precise. 4 things that are prohibited in the Sharia compliance: betting, alcohol, involvement pornography, pork. So there are too many investment portfolios, right? And these 4 just a what I call, we can say just a small type of investment, right? So you have a various type of portfolios that can be suited with the Sharia compliance. Thank you to Mr. Rushdan. Now, coming back, now we are going to the second session. We settle about the principles, we settle about the challenges and how we can invest in the Sharia compliance. Now, I want to ask Dr. Zaharuddin. There are a lot of a misconception between the comparison of Sharia compliance and non-Sharia compliance, that when it comes to the Sharia compliance investment, the yield returns are, lower than this kind of non-Sharia. So maybe you can explain about this comparison and this misconception on the both side of the investment.
Actually, when it comes to investment, it all comes down to the profitability of the company. So let's say I'm investing in equity in the global market, in the Sharia compliant counters like Tesla, just like I mentioned. It is Sharia compliant counters, and it can give you that amount of capital appreciation, even though it didn't give you dividend. So I can say that it depends on what type of instrument that you are referring to when you are saying that the Sharia returns lower than the conventional. This may due to the fact that Sharia, simpanan Sharia at the EPF give lower returns than the conventional simpanan conventional of EPF. The reason being is due to the investment in banking stocks. Because in Bursa Malaysia, they have only one Islamic bank stock, which is BIMB, and also two Takaful. Banking stock and banking or banks normally will give a lot of dividends to their investor. Yeah. So that's why EPF Simpanan Syariah give a little bit lower, due to that they are not allowed to invest in conventional bank stock as compared to their counterpart of Simpanan conventional. That is only the reason. The other than that, both are exposed to loss and profit, you know. But in return, in summary, when they calculate the profit and the loss, we can say that the banking dividend is actually helping the conventional savings of PF giving out more dividends. But if you look at other types of investment, if you use CGS, CIMB to invest in local or global markets, it's almost the same. You know, except that you must not choose the gaming stocks, riba stocks, banking and insurance stock. Other than that, microchip, semiconductor, technology, all of these are neutral and also Sharia compliant. So you can gain a lot of dividend from this company if you are becoming the direct investors, not using unit trust. Yes, we know that they have unit trust counters over here. Unit trust counters are here to help those who don't have time to do your own analysis. But when they act on your behalf, they will take fees. For that reason, if you think that you can learn by your own self and you have time to do your own analysis, it's good for you to do it on your own, because you can save some cost. But maybe due to that you are still not that knowledgeable, you will expose to high risk. So it's up to you to do the, you know, the to do your own estimation and calculation between the cost and benefits and the risk and the profit, you know. So that is number one. I think it is just because of referring to the EPF. Other than that, you know, if you are referring to the fund manager, again the same issue applies, because fund manager conventional unit trust, for example, they are investing in banking stock and insurance, where give a lot of dividends to themselves. But other than that, capital appreciation, meaning that you buy low and sell high, almost the same for conventional or Sharia compliant and non-Sharia compliant, you know. So that is number one. Number two, in terms of profitability, for those who are Muslim, they are abide by the Islamic law, so they need to do cleansing process. If they are investing in the non-Sharia counters, they need to do cleansing. For example, if they are investing, they are savings their retirement money in the Sharia simpanan conventional, they have to do the cleansing or purification. For example, for the last year, they have to purify 76% of their dividend. That's mean, if they get 5.5, they have to purify 73%. So meaning that their actual dividend is just only 1%, or maybe 1 point something percent. But for the non-Muslim, it's up to you. But for when we talk about Sharia investing, we are not only thinking about the returns, we are also need to think about our hereafter, because we all know that we will die sooner or later. So we have to be ready for the hereafter, number one. Number two, we believe in blessing and barakah, we call it in Arabic terminology, in our life. So for that reason, we restricting ourselves to invest in Sharia compliant. And at the same time, Sharia compliant investment is all about one segment or subset of ESG. If you are giving high attention to ESG status when you want to invest, Sharia compliant, I can say, can be included as a subset of ESG, where the investment always look at the consequences of the company, whether or not you help the social, the people to be good as well. People, profit, and what else? Number one, what the other one? P, 3P, what? Process, okay. Planet. People, planet, and profit. So you may invest in this and that, but how about it bring bad consequences to the planet? Like we have right now, we have global warming. Yes, we invest to get more profit, but it is not good for our children, for our grandchildren, and whatnot. So we have to be responsible when we invest. So Sharia always put heavy attention to that element as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Zaharudin. It's a very good explanation on the concept of a Sharia when he mentioned about barakah. So please learn this word, barakah, the God blessing on the Sharia investment, how he can, this kind of investment can give for the sake blessings on the people, planet, and profit, right? It's not just money, but also the ethic in terms of the investment. Now my question to we don't have enough time because we have only 45 minutes. We need actually 2 days tonight actually to have this kind of but we have just 5 minutes. The last questions before we wrap up everything. Mr. Rusdan, please explain on, maybe you can what you call integrate on the ESG, environment, social governance, and more on the yield returns on the Sharia investment. Over to you, Dr. Rusdan. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Can explain why they're setting. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to go back to what Dr. Zahar mentioned.
Then you go to ESG. Yeah.
Yeah, in terms of performance. Okay, but I must, disclaimer here is there is a sample bias. Depends on what year, that you're going to do your projection. But if you look at from 2015 to 2020, we have done a comparison between the global conventional and then the global Sharia. You can see that during that period, the Sharia fund actually outperformed the conventional by far. And I think the second column is actually more interesting because during the downturn, okay, the Sharia compliant equity investing provide also some degree of protection. It's actually, it fell less than the conventional one. So in some ways, I can stand here to say that Sharia compliant investment can provide superior return to you. And then going to the next one on the ESG, and also how ESG relates to Sharia compliant investing. This one, I think the words actually taken from my friend Ming Han. Okay, basically, if you look at it, I'm just going to read it here. Right? ESG and Sharia compliant investing are often viewed as distinct products, but they actually share similar principles. Okay, both promote stewardship, social responsibility, and value creation. So, in fact, adopting an ESG screening process with a Sharia overlay can offer attractive, sustainable returns over time. Case in point, if you look at how Sharia compliant can enhance your overall investment, look at the ESG. We have done also a study on ESG scoring. If you put Sharia compliant on top of your ESG, right, and when you do the scoring, normally your investment or the screening process will yield a higher ESG score. So you, at the end result is basically you get not only an ESG strong stock, but also a Sharia compliant one. All right. So this, I think, where ESG, Sharia investing, we should work together, and perhaps by adopting both, we can get a better return on our investment. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Roshdan. Very wonderful integration on ESG and the Sharia investing. The part last, I would like to open to the audience. If you have any question, it's very difficult to get them in this stage. Maybe one last question from the audience. Please, one question from the audience to any of the distinguished panelists.
Yeah, you can ask Dr. Zahar.
All right, we can open up the floor to the floor. Right, if let's say you have any questions.
Anyone?
In terms
Okay,
of
if you have no question, maybe Dr. Zarwin, you can wrap up. So how to start to start the journey in the Sharia investment? What you need to be mindful on this kind of investment as well, yeah.
All
how
right,
to start for the first time, yeah.
Thank you. I can sum up with, there are too many portfolio or sector that you can invest in a Sharia manner. Whether you can do it by yourself, but you need to have information and knowledge. But you have to pick one of them, because there are too many out there, and it may take some time for you to invest in all. But maybe some of my friends, they are investing in diamonds. Some of them, they are investing in luxury watches. Yeah, they make money, but you need to understand the whole ecosystem before you invest. Number two, after you pick the sector, you need to understand what are Sharia restriction and what the Sharia allowable sectors and also instrument and whatnot. And then you may need to get a consultant or advisors to help you to know more, and I think that is a normal way for everybody who want to invest in any investment, because investment is something about risk and return. So you need to be brave enough to enter into this segment, because if not, it's better for you to leave your money with the bank with a return of 0.something% per month, So I think that's all. Thank you very much for the organizer for inviting me to all of the attendees today. Thank you.
all right, thank you so much.